So lengthen through the body. So that's lifting. So you're lifting through the body, which means that your legs begin to stretch. So all you need to do is make sure that you don't lock the joints. When I mean lock the joints, I mean locking the front of the knees. So you can stretch upright quite a lot, okay? Now that might look straight to you, but look, that's locked. So we want dynamism. We want a good uplift through the body, and then we relax around that and release all the tension. So releasing tension. So you've got a movement that goes like this with the pelvis. You're getting this kind of lengthening through the low back. That lengthens the low back. And can you see? So you're releasing energy, force this way, but it wants to go down towards your feet. So what's happening is you're penetrating your feet. So if you can relax the legs, then the movement that you get in your tailbone is descending down and merging through the tissue and penetrating your feet. So you're controlling your force in the legs through what goes on in your pelvis. Now, start focusing on the same thing, tailbone coming down. Penetrating the feet. Now here, I'm mirroring with my hands. Through the middle foot, stretching to the toes. Beneath the tension, and you're working your way through. Scooping. Now this movement with the tailbone, this is putting length down through the back of your legs. Getting length, releasing tension, down and back. So it's a very important aspect. And I mention that only because you might find that when you do things like lower center work, you might find a lot of emotional things coming up. Equally around here, you can get things coming up. Okay, this is usually a place that we associate with that. We tend to not necessarily acknowledge a lot of what's going on in here because of its nature and its power and its connection to sexuality of your vital force. And this is very important, these lower centers, the Hui Yin, perineum, dantian, tailbone, Wei Lu point, Ming Men, first, second, and lumbar vertebra, front dantian, navel, middle dantian, between the navel and the Ming Men is a middle dantian, and you've got a lower dantian here. So you've got all these different areas. And we want to open this up. You want to get your tailbone to be like this. So you can put energy into it. It's loose, and then it stretches, and loose, loose, loose in both directions, like a fish. Yeah. Think of a fish. So think of your tailbone being like a fish. Okay. If you want to, you can hold the sacrum here. Hands in the sacrum, and so you're coming forward and backwards, just mechanically forward and back. How far can you go? Feel the opening up of the lower back, the lumbar, and then this idea of penetrating your feet. Can you come forward, be in the feet, come back and be in the feet? Here, relax and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Just keep going. Now you may find you get some aching coming into around the lumbar, or even up as high as the thoracic hinge, which is the junction of the thoracic vertebra and the lumbar. Forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Feeling the feet. So you penetrate the feet. So a little bit like if your tailbone was pointing towards your heel point, or even the back of the heel, and you're going, and you're trying to feel, not trying to, you are feeling this penetration, and you're making a line going through the foot. A line goes that way, this way, that way, this way, and just keep it going, and you're loosening, relaxing, relaxing, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. So that's one direction. Now you might be tight, you might be looser going forward. Are you looser going forward? Are you looser going back? Are you tight in both directions? Or are you loose and fairly loose in both directions? Here, forward, loose, and back. Now, side to side, side to side. So your tailbone's going side to side. Now this will, side to side, side to side. side to side, side to side. But feel the feet, keep relaxing. Are you stiff in this direction to the left? Is there inhibition in movement to the right? So you got north, south, east, west. Forward, back, side, 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 side. So you think you're playing golf, right? Then it's like a plumb line. It's like a heavy weight on the end of a rope. A weight on the end of a rope. So you feel like it's a pendulum. Like a slingshot. Heavy, 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 heavy. Heavy, 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 heavy. Don't worry about the joints becoming affected here. Side, 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 side. Forward, back. So you've got north, south, east, west. Diagonals. So you're going to come like northeast, southwest, and think the diagonal. Now, can you feel your tailbone is down? You might find that doing one direction, you automatically lock your breath. Just take note, mentally take note. Keep your breathing constant. Breathe through the movement. There's that diagonal. So there's a forward, back, northeast, southwest. Change the diagonal. Establish your tailbone. Diagonal, 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 diagonal. So what we've got a forward, a back, a side, a diagonal, 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 diagonal. You can go in any configuration. So discover where, now you may be stuck in one direction where you kind of move and you lock, okay? Or two, or three. If you more than three, you got some work to do. Loosen the neck. Feel tailbone through both feet. Penetrate the feet. Feet back, forward and back. Side, side, diagonal, 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 diagonal. Then you circle. Circle, make a circle. This is very much connected to rub the ball, by the way. Is this ability to move around inside and direct forces up the body, down the body, out of the body. Tailbone under, circling around, tailbone back. Tailbone under, tailbone back. Under, back, and fold in your quad. Under and back, a reverse direction. So by manipulating the core, you can project force anywhere around the body. This is very, very good, obviously, for your pelvic health, as is the quad squatting and all these squatting movements, and then releasing movements and leg movements. Under, back, under, back. So the key is getting it stretching down to the feet. Down to the feet. Now tracing basically is you feeling from your palms towards your body. You're sensing what's called your defensive chi. Your defensive chi is like a layer of, it's a layer, a strata of vibration, frequency, which it emanates around the surface of the body. Very, very simply. My hand is about a fist width, or no farther than about 6 inches. You can actually trace further out, no problem. Feel for the distance where you can get a sense of your palms, and you can feel into your body. And don't ever think you can't feel in. You can feel in, and you can feel in with your mind and your felt sense. We have a nervous system. You can develop your interoception to a very, very high degree. So you're tracing all the way up towards the nipples, up towards the clavicles. The right-left channel goes up higher, but you're coming here and tracing down. You're tracing up. Now relax the groin. Now soften into the groin here. Soften and relax, and open the perineum. Open. Now opening the perineum is not just shoving your knees out like this, okay? That's that's very crude and it doesn't do you any favors. So don't just whack your knees out like this to open your perineum, because then you can strain your knees and your calves and shins, etc. And you're relaxing down the legs. So you're creating space inside the pelvis and relax down the legs. So then your thigh bones will drift into an optimal position. So effectively you're opening from inside the pelvis, inside. You're not internally opening up the perineum just by moving the knees. You have to get the tailbone to the feet, get into the feet and open. Open the space, and then the thigh bones drift, open. Circle, circle. Okay, and round the belt, release. All the way to the feet. The head go, trace up the yin channels of both legs. Okay, so there's a sweet spot, which is not too far back and not too far forward. And it's keeping the feeling of the sweet spot, so you can keep folding in the qua. Yeah, you can keep folding. Release. Let's close that down. Now, as I'm going down, I may, because of tension, go into an anterior tilt, which tightens up the back. Now, the tension in the back there is going to inhibit your ability to squat. So as you're moving, if I move mindfully and slowly enough, and if I can feel this, feel the tension building up, then I can adjust my tailbone, look, very, very slightly. Inside to create the release above, to then go down. It's not about just knocking off a whole set of movements, you know, running choreography. It's about how connected you are inside, and you can experiment until you can find the sweet spot. Then you just can run the movement. So you can experiment with this, but what it means is that you can correct yourself on, because you're moving slowly, you can make corrections on the as you're engaged in something.